Welcome all to YouTube channel Mechanical Study. Today we are going to continue with our thermodynamics question bank series. So you already covered some of the questions of thermodynamics subject, which will be helpful for various exams like SSC JEE, RRB JEE, GATE and engineering service exam. Today we will start with the second law of thermodynamics. Basically there are four laws of thermodynamics, that is zeroth law, first law, second law and third law of thermodynamics. So you already see questions on zeroth and first law of thermodynamics. Today we will going to see questions on second law of thermodynamics. So we will start with the question number 148, that is, which of the following statements is correct. So basically there are two second law of thermodynamics statements. First is a Kelvin Planck statement and second one is the Clausius statement. So Kelvin Planck states us about a heat engine and Clausius states us about a refrigerator or heat pump. So here both the statements are equivalent to each other, that is both the statements will state us about the law of degradation of energy. The second law of thermodynamics is also called as law of degradation of energy, that is the quality. So it tells about the quality of energy, as first law of thermodynamics tells us about the quantity of energy. The second law tells us about the quality of energy, means whenever we transfer any form of energy into another form, there might be a degradation of energy that is takes place, that is the quality of energy that is changed while it is transferred from one form to another form. So here options are: a machine which violates Clausius statement will violate first law of thermodynamics, so it is not true. Then next is a machine which violates Kelvin Planck statement will violate first law of thermodynamics, it is also not true. A machine which violates second law of thermodynamics will violate first law of thermodynamics, it is not also true. And last is a machine which violates Kelvin Planck statement will violate Clausius statement. So this is a correct statement. Okay, so both the statements will give us about the indication of a law of degradation of energy, that is Kelvin Planck statement tells us about the there is no possibility that a engine which is working in a cycle and exchanging heat with the only single reservoir. So here there is a suppose a consideration of a heat engine. So they, according to Kelvin Planck statement, if the device which is working in a cycle and it it will convert one form of energy, that is heat, into a work without a surrounding, so that is not possible according to first law. Second law, that is a Kelvin Planck statement, that means a heat engine will never exchange it with only one reservoir, so there must be another reservoir that is called as a sink, to which some amount of energy will be lost, and we cannot convert 100% heat into equivalent amount of work. That is the statement of Kelvin Planck statement. So similarly, Clausius statement tells us about that whenever any device, either it is a refrigerator or heat pump, it will not transfer heat from low temperature reservoir. Suppose this is a low temperature reservoir and this is a high temperature reservoir, and if you have to transfer heat from low temperature reservoir to a high temperature reservoir, there must be some external aid that is necessary for any device, either it is a refrigerator or a heat pump. So that is a statement of a Clausius statement, and both the statements tells us about the law of degradation of energy. So those are equivalent statements. So here option D will be right answer. The next question: which of the following is correct statement? So here options are: entropy of isolated system always decreases, so it is not true, it is remains constant. Energy always degrades during the real process, that is a true statement. That is, earlier I have told you that there must always be a degradation of energy, that is quality of energy will change as it is transferred from the one form to the another form due to some of the losses that is takes place. It may be internal irreversibilities, it may be heat losses. So this is the thing that is takes place while the real process take place. So there will be a degradation of energy when there is a real process take place. So option B will be the right answer. The next question: which of the following device complies with the Clausius statement of second law of thermodynamics? So here options are: closed cycle gas turbine, internal combustion engine, steam power plant and domestic refrigerator. So here Kelvin clauses tells us about the concept of a refrigerator. That is, whenever we have to transfer heat from a low temperature to a high temperature, we need to have one device that is called as refrigerator. So here, which will need some work input, or which will be required to, in order to transfer heat from low temperature to higher temperature, we need some external work aid. So here, the option will be, that is option, that is a domestic refrigerator. The next question, that is, if a closed system is undergoing an irreversible process, the entropy of a system. So for any irreversible process that is carried out in a universe, so entropy of the particular system will always increases, if it is a irreversible process, and if it is to be a reversible process, then it is equal to 0, and the relation between the entropy change is nothing but a del q by t, that is a cyclic this can be written as a cyclic integral of del q by t. For any process, the entropy change can be found out, that is the whatever the heat transfer during the process at a absolute temperature. So here for irreversible process it always decreases, for reversible it remains constant. So this is the option of question number 151 will be option C. Next question, question number 152. A thermodynamic cycle is composed of 4 processes. The heat added and the work done in each process are as follows. So processes are given, and heat transfer and work done during each process is also given. We have to find out the thermal efficiency of a cycle. So consider a case that the heat engine that is working, as the efficiency is calculated as the output to the input. Okay, consider a case that the heat engine that is working in a cycle, and a heat is supplied, a Q1 amount of heat is supplied to the heat engine from the source at a temperature T1, and Q2 is the amount of heat that is rejected to the surrounding or a sink, which is at temperature T2, and W is the amount of work that is performed by the engine. So here the efficiency of an engine comes up to be, that is also called the thermal efficiency, is nothing but it is work done to the heat supplied. Okay, so this can be here, this will be the W net. Okay, so here we can get the values of work net, that is here work done is given, that is 50 by the gas and 20 by on the gas. So here net work done will be the 30, and heat supplied will be the, so here heat supplied, that is heat transfer from the gas, that is heat transfer to the surrounding. So it is not the heat supplied. So here it to the gas is nothing but the heat supply, that is 80, 30 divided by 80, so it is comes out to be 37.5. Similar example can be solved with the another formula, that is efficiency is equal to W upon Q1. This W can be written as, that is heat supplied minus heat rejected to the heat supplied. So this can be written as Q1 minus Q2 upon Q1. Just put the values of Q2, that is Q2 is the heat rejected to the surrounding, that is comes, there is Q1 is a 50 and Q1 is nothing but 80. So just solve this, we will get the again same answer, that is 37.5 will be the right answer. Next question, consider the following statement. First statement, that is heat pumps and air conditioners have same mechanical components. Okay, so it is a true statement, that is a heat pump and air conditioners have same mechanical components. As heat pumps are basically used for the heating purpose and air conditioner is used for the cooling purpose, depend upon the season of the year. Generally in air conditioners the basically the cooling coil is active, and in case of heat pumps the cooling coil is just inactive. So this is basically the necessity that is we need to change in case of heat pumps and air conditioners. Air conditioners are generally used for the summer season, that is where we have to carried out a cooling and dehumidification process, and heat pumps are basically used in a winter season, that is basically used for the purpose of heating and humidification purpose. Then next, that is the option, that is statement second, the same system can be used as heat pump in winter and air conditioner in summer. So earlier I have told you that the only in winter season we just inactive the cooling coil where the refrigerant is flowing, and the device will be act as a heat pump, and in summer we will just active the cooling coil, so it will be like a air conditioner in a summer. So here option 2 is also true. Then the capacity and efficiency of heat pump fall significantly at higher temperatures, so it is also true. So as for that purpose we need to know the COP of a pump. So here options are, so consider a case that a pump that is working between a temperature of T1, which is a lower temperature, and T2, which is a higher temperature, and W is the work done. So here the COP of a heat pump is nothing but, that is a desired effect T2 side, which is occurs on T2 side to the T2 minus T1. So this is the COP. So as this value of T2 increases, the temperature increases, the COP will goes decrease, because this value will increases significantly, which enables the, so which leads the the work input to the pump will increases, and this enables the COP to be decreases. So here all the three statements will be correct. The next question, the area of PV diagram for a Carnot cycle represents. So basically Carnot cycle consists of 4 processes. It is a hypothetical cycle, and its formula for the any reversible device like heat engine or heat pump. I have earlier told you that the for efficiency of a Carnot cycle, if it is to be a for a heat engine or power producing device, it is depending upon that its temperature only. That is that it is same as for the same as that of the we have calculated for a reversible heat engine. So it is comes out to be that is W upon Q1, or it can be written as a Q2 Q1 minus Q2 upon Q1, or in terms of temperature it is T1 minus T2 upon T1. If it is a case of a reversible heat engine, T1 is the higher side temperature, T2 is the lower side temperature, T1 again a higher side temperature. Similarly, we can apply it for a reversible refrigerator or a heat pump. So here the question is the area of PV diagram for Carnot cycle represents. So for any cycle, any air standard or any vapor power cycle, the area under the PV diagram gives us about the work done, and area under the TS diagram gives us about the heat transfer. So here the option C will be the right answer. So basically Carnot cycle consists of 4 processes. First, that is, here we can see Carnot cycle on PV and TS diagram. So here first 1 to 2 is the constant temperature process, then 2 to 3 is the isentropic process. Constant temperature means temperature will be constant. Then 2 to 3 is isentropic, that means heat transfer to surrounding will be 0. 3 to 4 is the again constant temperature process. At one side there will be constant temperature heat addition, here there will be heat supplied, and at the other side there will be constant temperature heat rejection at process 3 to 4, and again 4 to 1 is nothing but the isentropic process that is carried out during process 4 to 1. So this is the Carnot cycle on PV diagram. Okay, so here option C will be the right answer. So you must know that for any cycle, whether it is a air standard cycle or whether it is a vapor power cycle. So the basic difference between air standard cycle and vapor power cycle, in vapor power cycle we need to draw a saturation curve, because there will be phase change of a substance take place, and in air standard cycle there will be no phase change, as the working medium is considered to be as a air, so there will be no phase change take place, so there will need not to be draw a saturation curve. So here so one should know that the for PV for any cycle, area under the curve for PV, on PV diagram gives us a work done, and area under the curve on TS diagram gives us a heat transfer during the cycle. The next question, that is question number 155. A reversible Carnot engine operates between, that is temperature range is given 27 and 15 to 7 degrees Celsius and produces 400 kilowatt of net power. The change in entropy of working fluid during the heat addition process is. So here given is that we have to find out the change in entropy during heat addition process. So here first of all we draw diagram. Suppose this is a temperature, higher side temperature it is 1527 degrees Celsius, and lower side temperature that is given is 27 degree Celsius. So here, and the work done is nothing but 400 kilowatt. Okay, so here we have to find out the change in entropy. So for that purpose, here you must have to know about the Q1. Okay, that is we have to find out the change in entropy of a working fluid during the heat addition process, that is heat supplied to the engines. Okay, so the change in entropy is nothing but the heat transfer to the, that is del Q to the absolute temperature. So here heat supplied will be the, that we have to find out the Q1 upon T1. This will give the change in entropy. So here T1 is known to us, but Q1 is not known to us. So we have to first of all find out the Q1. So find out the Q1. First of all you have to find out the efficiency, that is nothing but for a Carnot engine the efficiency is nothing but that is T1 minus T2 upon T1, put in the equation, you will get the efficiency. Okay, just we have to put in the Kelvin terms. Okay, that is 27 is get converted into 300, that is sink side temperature, and 15 27 we need to convert it into, that is 1800 Kelvin divided by 1800 Kelvin. We will get the efficiency of formula of efficiency, that is final answer of efficiency. Then put in the formula, then just if you get the efficiency, then put efficiency is equal to nothing but work done upon heat supplied. Okay, so here efficiency already calculated, work done, that is nothing but the formula for this is nothing but the, or it is already given, that is power produced is 400 kW. Just put over here, we will get the value of Q1, that is comes out to be 480 kilowatt. Once you get the value of Q1, just put in the formula of entropy change, that is delta S is equal to Q1 upon T1. If you put this in equation, we will get the final answer comes out to be 0.266 kilowatt per Kelvin. So the correct answer will be the option number B. So here correct option will be option B. Question number 156. An engine works on the basis of a Carnot cycle operating between temperatures of 800 Kelvin and 400 Kelvin. If heat supply is 100 kilowatt, the output is. So we have to find out the work done. So efficiency formula, that is W upon Q1, but here temperature is given, so efficiency is also written as T1 minus T2 upon T1. So this comes out to be T1, that is nothing but the 800 minus 400 divided by 800, so this comes out to be 50%. Okay, so once find out the efficiency, we will get easily the work done, that is it is a 50%, that is 0.5. Efficiency is nothing but work done to the heat supply, that is 100. So here 50 kilowatt will be the right answer, that is 50 kilowatt will be the correct answer for the option number, that is question number 156. So option A will be the right answer. The next question, that is question number 157. A heat engine receives 1 kilowatt heat transfer at 1200 Kelvin and gives out 600 watt as work, with the rest as heat transfer to the ambient at 300 Kelvin. The second law of efficiency of engine is. So here first of all you have to find out the actual efficiency and the maximum efficiency, so that we can find out the second law efficiency. So here the heat engine receives 1 kilowatt heat transfer at 1200 Kelvin. So first of all you will find out the maximum efficiency, that is Carnot efficiency, that is T1 minus T2 upon T1, where T1 is the higher side temperature, that is 1200 Kelvin minus 600, that is minus 300 Kelvin upon 1200 Kelvin. So it is comes out to be, that is 9 by 12. So it is comes out to be 0.75. So it is comes out to be 0.75. The Zeta maximum is 0.75. The next, the actual efficiency. For actual efficiency, we should have to use a formula, that is W upon Q1. So here heat transfer is W is nothing but, that is 600, and the heat supplied, that is also given. This is 1 kilowatt of heat, that is 1000, that is 0.6. So here the actual efficiency comes out to be 0.6. So here second law efficiency, that is formula for that is nothing but the eta actual to the eta maximum. So it is comes out to be actually is 0.6, maximum is 0.75. So second law of efficiency comes out to be 80%. So here option C will be the right answer. The next question, that is question number 158. A Carnot cycle engine receives and rejects heat with 20 degrees Celsius temperature differential between itself and the thermal energy reservoir. Okay, the expansion and compression process have pressure ratio of 50. For 1 kg of air as working substance, the cycle temperature limits of 1000 Kelvin and 300 Kelvin, and T0 is 280 Kelvin. Determine the second law efficiency. So here basically we have to find out the second law efficiency, and so this problem can be solved with the earlier problem that we have already solved. Okay, first of all you have to find out the W actual, the W maximum. Okay, so to find out the W actual, just we have to equate the formula. That is, we know the efficiency, that is nothing but W upon Q1. This can be written as T1 minus T2 upon T1. So they will get the W in terms of Q1. This will be the W actual. Okay, so here the for Carnot cycle it is operating between temperature of 1000 minus 300 divided by 1000. So it is W will be comes out to be equals to 0.7 times Q1. Similarly, find out the W max. Okay, as the temperature differential is 20 degrees Celsius on each side, so here in terms of Kelvin also there will be a temperature difference of 20. So here the W max comes out to be, that is W max upon Q1 can be written as, that is temperature that is in the range 1020, as there is temperature difference of 20 minus 320 divided by 1020. Put, we will get the equation, that is W max in terms of Q1, that is 0.725 Q1. Now here we have to find out the second law of efficiency. The second law of efficiency comes out to be W to the W max into 100. So here it is comes out to be 0.7 upon 0.725 into, that is Q1 will get cancelled and will the final answer, that is 0.955. So here option C will be the right answer for the above question. So here option C will be the right answer. Here we can see the option, that is second law of efficiency, that is comes out to be 0.965. So here the option D will be the right answer. It is not option C, as the efficiency is 0.965. Okay, so just calculate the value, that is 0.7 upon 0.725. So it depend upon that the value of second law of efficiency. Just calculate and reply it in a comment box. The next question, that is a gas A at 1 megapascal 100 degrees Celsius temperature and gas B at 5 megapascal 100 degrees Celsius temperature are mixed such that the final temperature after mixing remains 100 degrees Celsius. The process is adiabatic. The entropy of a gas after mixing is. So here, as it is a adiabatic, consider it is a mixing of a gas. Okay, so this will be the process will be adiabatic mixing of a gas. So here during the adiabatic mixing of any gas, there will be no heat transfer to the surrounding. Okay, and entropy change is nothing but a cycle del Q by T. As there will be no heat transfer to the surrounding, that means delta S will be 0, as there is a mixing is taking place. Consider it to be a process adiabatic. Okay, as the process is adiabatic means, or there will be the heat transfer to the surrounding is 0. That means a entropy change for the process is 0. So here, without any doubt, the entropy remains constant because entropy change is 0, and reason behind is that the process is adiabatic. Okay, so there will be adiabatic mixing, that means the heat transfer to the surrounding will be 0, and there will be no entropy change. So entropy change will be 0 as entropy is constant. So here option B will be the right answer, that is the entropy of a gases after mixing will remain same, that is option B will be the right answer. Then last question for today is, if the COP of a Carnot refrigerator is 6, then the ratio of higher temperature to lower temperature is. Okay, so first of all I will draw a diagram for the Carnot refrigerator. Okay, so suppose there is a lower side temperature, I am considering this as a TL. So according to question we'll just have to draw it. Okay, and this is higher side temperature TH, and word W is the word done. So here the COP of a Carnot refrigerator is can be written as, that is lower side temperature TL upon higher side temperature minus lower side temperature. So here they have asked about the ratio of higher to the lower side temperature. So to find out the ratio, COP is equal to TL upon TH minus TL. So divide it with the TL. So it is comes out to be 1 upon TH minus TL minus 1. So here COP is 6. So take this term on the left side and 6 on the right side. So this comes out to be TH minus TH upon TL minus 1 is equal to 1 by 6. So it comes out to be TH upon TL will be equals to 1 by 6 plus 1. So it is comes out to be, that is 7 by 6. So here option D will be the right answer for question number 160. Here they have asked about the temperature ratio, that is higher to the lower side temperature ratio. In a refrigerator, the desired effect will occur on the lower side temperature. So correct option will be the option D. So I hope you all enjoy our lecture series. So today I will stop here. Do like and subscribe to our channel and share with your friends. Thank you.